What's up, guys? Mickle here, and there's a ton of fear in the cryptocurrency market right now around FTX liquidating a massive amount of cryptocurrency. In this video, I'm going to go over exactly how much XRP FTX is going to have to liquidate and whether or not I think this is going to have a severe impact on the market. Guys, FTX was one of the biggest exchanges out there. They have a ton of cryptocurrency they're going to have to dump. In this video, I'm going to give you everything you need to know about that, as well as go over the SEC's newest case. Guys, this case is an absolute joke. This is one of the SEC's worst cases yet. We're going to talk about that, so make sure to stick around for this whole thing. Like always, your support means so much to this channel. If you enjoyed these videos, make sure to take a quick second to like this video and subscribe to my channel. It's really going to help me out so much. Also, if you ever need a good place to buy some XRP or the Flare token, make sure to check out my favorite exchange Uphold down in the description of this video. With that said, though, let's jump right into it, and I hope you guys enjoy the content. So guys, just so you know, we're going through a pretty crazy thunderstorm here, so if you hear some thunder in the background of this video, hopefully it's not too loud or too annoying. It's pretty spaced out, so just wanted to put that out there. I want to start out this video and just show you a pretty interesting tweet. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but this is kind of something I'd been talking about for a while. I never actually got confirmation on it, but I think it's actually really cool to hear this from Brad. And this is actually just a quote from him explaining Ripple's business from a very, very high level, kind of a bird's eye view of what Ripple does. He says, our customers are coming to us really seeking for us to be the infrastructure provider around blockchain and crypto technologies. So this is super interesting because this is always how I have seen Ripple and Brad's business developing. Ripple is helping institutions adopt the new rails, and those new rails are XRP. Essentially what's going on is traditional companies, banks, institutions, and governments all around the world want to get involved in cryptocurrencies, but they don't know how to. They don't have their development teams. Half these companies don't even have real software teams, but they want to get involved in cryptocurrencies. These different players are not going to go experimenting on their own. It's too scary. It's too daunting. They just don't know what they're doing. So what they are doing is they are going to Ripple and saying, Ripple, please build us easy to use products. Please build us software that allows us to interact with blockchain technology without us actually having to know what we're doing. Overall, I think this is an extremely powerful value proposition because this is what we need in cryptocurrency. How many times have you gone to use a cryptocurrency product and just had no idea what you're doing? You look at the interface, you look at all these crazy steps, all these crazy transactions you have to put through, and just say, nah, I don't want to deal with this. This is one of the biggest problems with cryptocurrency today. Cryptocurrencies are really not made for the users. They are made as a back-end transfer system. They're made as rails, but they're really not made to be interacted with on a customer level. What Ripple is doing, and I think this is so powerful, is they are using their software to build easy to use tools and products for consumers to use to interact with the XRP ledger in a seamless way. This is really the end game for cryptocurrencies, using products that rely on cryptocurrencies as rails and the customer doesn't even know they're utilizing cryptocurrency. How nice would it be if you log on to Ripple's ODL product, you send money all around the world instantaneously for fractions of a penny, and you don't even know you're sending that money through XRP? That's really the end goal here. Allow customers to get all the benefits of cryptocurrencies without actually knowing that they're using the crypto rails. I really do think this is the era we're heading into. So many different projects out there, especially on the Ethereum network. I see this all the time. Design these super crypto-centric products. You need to be like an expert in blockchain to even wrap your head around what you're doing. And I just don't think this is what customers really want. Ripple has always taken the right approach. Ripple has always done their best to create products that are easy for customers to use. And that's really what the whole ODL experience was designed around from the start. Overall, I just thought this quote from Brad was really interesting. I always talk about Ripple being a software provider to help companies better utilize the XRP ledger. I kind of just made it up based on what I have been seeing out of Ripple. It's just really cool for Brad to actually confirm this is kind of what Ripple is doing. And overall, I just think this makes their business so much more expansive. I think Ripple is going to be helping companies all over the world do all kinds of things outside of ODL, issue stablecoins on the XRP ledger, issue marketplaces, issue NFTs, all these different things. These companies are going to go through Ripple, and it really just makes Ripple's business line so much more expansive outside of cross-border remittances. So now I want to move on and quickly touch about the SEC's new case, and I thought this was so comical. The SEC earlier today filed charges against the NFT creators of Stoner Cats. Now this is actually a Mila Kunis project. If you don't know her, she was an actress on That 70s Show. It was one of my favorite shows growing up, but I just thought this was so funny and so on brand for the SEC. The SEC is watching countless scam after countless scam show up in the cryptocurrency market, and who do they go after? They go after Stoner Cats, some dumb NFT project where essentially people were buying pictures of cats. This is such a joke. I don't understand how the SEC continues to use all their legal resources, to use all their lawyers on projects like this. It doesn't make any sense. It is so pathetic by the SEC. There's really not too much to say about it, but kind of the funniest thing about it is that the cats have actually been surging in price since the SEC case. The SEC is trying to shut down these different projects, but the simple act of them going after the project and talking about it and giving it the media attention is actually pumping the price of the NFTs. A massive joke by the SEC. It shows that despite all their losses in the cryptocurrency industry as of recently, they're still not focused on the right stuff. They're still going after innocent people just making NFTs, trying to make a living, rather than going after scam projects that are stealing people's money. So now I want to finish this video off and talk about the FTX liquidation. For those of you who don't know, FTX actually had a massive amount of crypto assets on their balance sheet, and they're going to be selling all of them in the near future. So essentially FTX had $1.16 billion worth of Solana, $500 million worth of BTC, $200 million worth of ETH, and then we have $119 million worth of XRP and some other tokens I don't really know. At the end of the day, the big question people are asking right now is FTX selling off these cryptocurrencies going to have a massive impact on the market? So let me just break down what I think is going to happen here. I obviously cannot predict the future. I have no idea what's going to happen here, but there's some really important notes we need to understand. First of all, Ripple actually had a lease to FTX for a large portion of this XRP. I think almost half of this was a lease to FTX. So what does that mean? That means FTX actually has to give XRP back to Ripple. That means a large portion of this XRP probably won't be sold on the market. It'll probably just be handed over back to Ripple. So that will decrease some of the selling pressure on XRP itself. But most of the people who have been around cryptocurrency a long time know that even if Solana or Bitcoin just take a massive hit, that will probably be enough to bring down the rest of the market. So I still think that even though most of this XRP is just going to go back to Ripple because it was a lease, I still think there's potential that the rest of the market could get hit by a massive sell-off. Now, with that said, the most important part that not a lot of people are talking about, and this is really the critical aspect of all of this, is whether or not the market has already priced this in. Essentially, when FTX first went under, we saw a massive decline in most cryptocurrencies. Now, when you think about it, that doesn't really make sense. No assets were being sold from FTX at that point. There were no liquidations, but we still saw most cryptocurrencies falling off a cliff. Why were they falling off a cliff if no assets were actually being sold from FTX? Well, just think about it. Most of the smartest players in the industry knew that these assets were going to hit the market, so they started preparing accordingly. This is actually one of the most fascinating things about markets. They are extremely efficient and they predict the future. Let me give you a good example of this. Back in 2008, during the Great Recession, essentially a lot of people were waiting to buy stocks, waiting to buy businesses until unemployment hit its peak and earnings hit their trough, essentially when market conditions looked the worst. But what actually happened is the stock market and different assets actually started rebounding well before earnings troughed and unemployment hit its highest peak. So why did that happen? Because the market essentially knew that things were going to get better eventually and started increasing before max capitulation happened in the fundamentals. What we could have seen with FTX was this exact thing happening. Essentially, all the big market players, all the big institutions knew this cryptocurrency was eventually going to be put on the market, so they sold beforehand. That would mean that we likely already saw most of the pain from these cryptocurrencies hitting the market priced in beforehand. Now, no one can actually prove whether or not this happened, but I think it's really important to think about because think of how many times you heard in the cryptocurrency industry that there was a massive amount of crypto about to be sold onto the market and then nothing actually happens. For me, I feel like there are countless stories of that exact thing happening, and typically the reason for that is because it's all already priced in. Normally, these cryptocurrencies just get sold OTC, they don't even get sold on the public market. So there's not actually an impact, and what actually creates the bigger impact is typically the fear around the event. Typically, this happens as soon as the news breaks. So what I was talking about earlier is this likely happened the second people found out that FTX went bankrupt. This is when the big institutions probably started pricing in an event like this happening. And now months down the road, we're finally getting to the event where the cryptocurrency is being sold. Maybe it will have some impact over the next couple days. All I am doing is pointing out the fact that typically when we have events like this, people forecast these black swan scenarios, people forecast these massive sell-offs, and they never actually develop. And the last point I'll make in regards to this, because this is also very important, the bankruptcy lawyers in the FTX case want to make sure they get as much money as possible for selling their assets. They don't want to tank the market because if they tank the market when they're selling these assets, they're going to get significantly less money back. These are all just things to consider on why these cryptocurrencies getting sold might not actually be the black swan event many people are talking about. I just wanted to give the contrarian view here. Not a lot of people are actually talking this way. Most people are saying this is going to be a black swan scenario, so just something to consider. Like always, guys, if you enjoyed this content, make sure to take a quick second to like this video and subscribe. It helps me out so much, and for now, Mickle out.